Hello, my name is Dana from Terrytown, and welcome to your Jayco 324 BDS. Just going to start right up front here with your power tongue jack. You're going to have a light connected to it, just in case you do need to hook up at night. You have your retract and extend. Just in case your power tongue jack ever electrically goes out, you can peel this black tab up behind it, and then insert a tool. Once that tool is inside, then you can go ahead, twist it one way or another, and reel this in or out. Moving to your propane tanks, you have a supply arrow, I should say, in whatever way it's pointing to is the supply that you're taking from. So for example, this has a little arrow there, or you can just find it by the big knob on the end, but whatever way that knob is pointing to is the propane tank you're taking it from. Once you turn these on, right behind it, that little red piece on both sides will turn green. Once those are green, that means you have a steady flow of propane going through it, and then you are able to then use that propane tank. Once it turns red again, go ahead, close the one side, flip it to the other, and then use the other side. Stabilizer jack crank, so it goes right down there to crank, and this is also the same tool that will go right in here if that ever electrically goes out. Right behind here, you're going to have your camp power or shore power here. Water heater, just pull that, open it up. Here's your switch. And then a pressure release for when you go to empty it. This is your outside shower. You're gonna have a hot and cold side of the faucet, and then your shower head along with the shower hose connected to it. It's basically just gonna look like the one inside, but outside. City water connection, so when you get to a campground, this is what you are going to plug your campground hose into, and then this will give you water and a steady water supply. Just underneath that is going to be your furnace exhaust. Your furnace exhaust is going to kick out the extra heat when your furnace is on, so this will get very hot, so just be careful. Little kids, anything, tell them, be careful, do not touch that, because it will get burned. Moving down here, you're going to have your sewer system. So right here is going to be the black tank. And then moving over here, gray tank. So I recommend doing the black tank first, just because it's going to be the dirtiest water out of the two, and it also has chunks. So you go ahead, pull the black tank. It's gonna empty. Once it's done emptying, keep that open and put a pressurized hose into this. This is your black tank flush. With the black tank flush, put a pressurized hose inside of here. It'll activate a small sprinkler inside the system to help kind of flush everything that may have gotten stuck out. So for example, if there's toilet paper that got stuck, it'll help kind of flush it out. So when you're done with that, go ahead, take your hose, pull it out, come down here, close the black tank, and then come over here and open the gray tank valve, and then it'll go ahead and all flush out. Coming to the back, gray tank, sorry, not gray tank, cable satellite input, and then another gray tank down here. Same thing, you just pull it and it'll drain. So in here, spare tire. This is going to be the same tire as what is up front. So for example, it's not going to be like a donut, so a smaller tire, anything like that. It's going to be the exact same one as up there. Just up here, backup camera prep. And then your ladder on the back. This is rated for 250 pounds. When you're outdoor kitchen, you have your sink along with your fridge. If you plug this unit on 110, so if you plug it into your house, it's going to start cooling your fridges, so it will cool this one and the one inside. For your tires, right on your wheel there is going to be a green cap. That cap indicates that your tires are going to be filled with nitrogen. You are able to fill them with regular air. It's not going to inflate or deflate with temperature change. Moving on, fresh tank. So if you're going rustic camping, for example in a national park, you go ahead, park this outside, fill this up. It's just going to be a gravity fill. Once this is full, you can go ahead, turn on your water pump, and suck water from this tank into your lines. So instead of having the city connection from a campground, we'll use this water instead. If you have extras left over and you need to empty it before you leave, it's just going to be right down here. So it's going to be this one right here. You just go ahead, twist that, and then it will then empty that fresh tank. And then right there, you can see the colors now. That is going to be your low point drains for your hot and cold lines. You do decide to put that bracket on this mount out here for your TV. That's where that will go. Cable, satellite output, along with 110 outlets right there. For your steps, make sure your door is completely open, because if it's not, this piece will scrape up the side of your door. So you just go ahead and grab, lift it up. I grabbed it in a bad spot. There we go. And then you just go ahead, make sure that this little metal piece is behind the frame. If you ever need to adjust your legs at any point, you just go ahead and grab this black piece and pull, and then that will then drop, or you can raise as well. To take it out, all you do, pull this to the right, and then grab, and then slowly bring it down. On top of your awning, it's gonna be a little black piece right there. It's pretty hard to see, but all it is a manual override. So if you peel that black tab off, insert a 10mm socket, then you can manually override this, and you can reel it back in or out. Then moving on, you have your place for basically a little table. It's for your U-Connect, and then right behind it there's going to be your griddle that you can set on top, which will also include a LP gas hose to get that going. One last thing before we head inside, make sure this is completely flush on either side, because if it's not and it's up a good amount, you go to slam your door, it'll start to ruin the bottom of your door, and it's just not going to go well. Moving inside, you're going to have all of your little electronic panels here. Starting with this one here, it's going to be all of your tank readers. So for example, let me switch my hands. Gray tank reader, gray tank, black tank, fresh tank, and battery. Once again, all of your readers, and then your water pump here. You just flick that on, and then that will then draw water from your fresh tank. Just to the right of it, you're going to have two switches. This one is going to be your outdoor awning light. And then just to the right of that, this is going to be your indoor lights. Moving to your awning. Let's see how far I can get without hitting this pole. But two things you are going to want to look out for is the excess flap kind of coming down, and then along with the black bar it is sitting on behind it. It's about as far as I can go. But this piece will kind of flap down, and you'll be able to see that bar right behind it. To pitch it for the rain, just go ahead and grab right here where it says pull down to adjust pitch. Pull at the elbow, it'll bend, and then the awning will then come down, and you're able to drop all the water off needed. Go ahead and push it back up before we reel it in. The reason why you do want to stop once you see that is because if you do keep going, it is going to reel in the opposite way and end up breaking. So it's just kind of like a quick example to know that you're fully extended. There we go. And then just to the right of that is going to be your first slide. Once you hear that gear grinding noise, you know you are fully extended. Moving on, just below here, this is going to be your carbon monoxide detector. So this is always going to be on, and that means that green light is always going to be on. So with that, that means that will eventually drain your battery. So something to quick prevent it is if you're going to leave your camper for about 3 to 4 days, I recommend taking the negative end off of your battery, or if you're storing it for the winter, just go ahead and take your battery inside and into your basement or in a heated garage. Moving on, almost dropped the paper off. Turning this on. Volume, just by twisting this. Channel switch. Zone 1, inside speakers. Zone 2, outside speakers. Mute button, top right. Bluetooth, AM, FM, aux, and you have pause, play, and your USB and HDMI. So with this, if you want to change your bass, treble, anything like that, you just keep tapping like that. And then to turn off, you just hold. It'll say standby, and then it's off. For your bedroom, if you grab underneath and lift up, you can access your underbed storage. And then over here is going to be your solar charge controller. Change your amp volts with this. And then your battery type down here on the bottom right. And it tells you also how full your batteries are with right here. Television bracket location, along with the inputs you will need. So here's your one input, and then you have 2 110 outlets right next to it. Coming back into the kitchen area, you're going to have microwave, lights and fan. And then to light this up, you just turn on the lights, press, turn. Once it's red, that means the gas is releasing. And you go ahead and spark to the right. You always want to spark to the right, because if you spark to the left, it will actually snap off. So once again, always spark to the right. There's even arrows telling you to. Just be careful. And for your oven, you press, turn to the pilot symbol, which is the little flame symbol, and then you go ahead and sit there and spark until it lights. So what that's going to look like is right in the back. It's really hard to see, but like right there, there's going to be a little igniter. So once that pilot light is on and you're sitting there sparking, a small flame will appear right there. Once you see that small flame, then you go ahead and adjust to the temperature needed. Just below it, breakers and fuses. I do recommend bringing extra fuses just in case. That's just a personal recommendation, but if you do decide to bring some, you can pick those up at any auto parts store. So like an AutoZone, for example, just go ahead and bring extras. For the keys, these silver ones are going to be for the main doors and baggage doors, and then the black ones are going to be for your outside shower. For your refrigerator, right up top there, you just twist that, and then that will then control your temperature. And nothing for your freezer. Moving back, slide. I'm gonna do that last actually. Right here. This is gonna be your thermostat. Just keep tapping through. Fan, cool, furnace. With those, you just tap up and down for the temperature switch. Slide. Once again, gear grinding noise means you're fully extended. Moving to the bathroom. The main things you are going to need to pay attention to is the foot flush here. Press that down to get it going, and then you are going to need toilet solution along with RV grade toilet paper. The toilet paper will help kind of break down, so it won't clog your lines, and then the solution will help break down solids and smells. So once again, it won't clog your lines, along with kind of helping everything flow easier out the black tank. Just above it, To open this up, you just pull down and make sure the teeth all align, so you kind of see how it comes in and out right there. Just make sure they're aligned and then they'll go in. Otherwise, to turn it on, just a button right in the corner. And the water heater, can't really turn this on because there's no water going through it. Otherwise, it's pretty self-explanatory. There's buttons on, off, Celsius, Fahrenheit, and then control the temperature with the arrows there. And last but not least, last room. Really the main thing is just lift this up, make sure that is in place like that. Then you can go ahead and fold this out into another bed, or to access the lights, all you do is press right in the middle. That goes for all of them, so if you do want to section this room off, you can tap right there and lift up, pull this out, let it drop. Strap. And then the last thing I'm going to go over is your AC. So with this, when it's open, it's just going to dump straight out the bottom. So what people will do is when they get to a campground, to cool their camper off first, you leave those open, let it dump out. Kind of cools the main area to help, everything else happen. What I mean by that is when that cools down, you can go ahead, close this, and then your AC will then flow through your ceiling. So you can open these up, twist them, turn them wherever you want the air to blow. And that's what I mean by kind of making everything else happen. Cool the first room off first, and then once you close that, it'll start traveling throughout your camper to help you cool everything else down. If you do have any questions, feel free to write them down and bring them in for your delivery date. And then any of us show through guys will help kind of answer your questions, walk you through it one more time, and show you your unit. Otherwise, enjoy.